What's up, food lovers? So I decided to do, instead of a challenge, I have done in the past a $40 in 1 week challenge, and I've done a $30. No, I haven't done a $40 in 1 week challenge. Wow, that was the original plan. I was gonna do a $40 in 1 week challenge, but I thought to myself, you know, that's probably gonna be too close to what I actually do anyway. So it turns out I was right. So I've done a $30 a week challenge and I've done a $20 a week challenge. But this time I decided it's important to just kind of have a control and a baseline. And I wanted to show you guys what I eat in a week. But taking it a step further from most of those, you know, what I ate in a week videos, I wanted to really go into how much everything cost. So I nickeled and dimed everything. I spent the last hour doing a bunch of math and figuring out exactly how much money I spent. So as you will see from the title and/or thumbnail of this video, I spent $43.49 on 1 week of food. This was at the beginning of July, so like a couple weeks before I posted this video. It takes a while to edit a video together and actually get it out, especially when you have another YouTube channel. But yeah, this week I wanted to just go do a typical week of food where I'm not like trying to be super healthy. I'm not trying to be unhealthy either. And where I'm not like consciously making an effort to try to save money or anything. I'm just eating what I want to eat while still, you know, generally counting calories at the very least. But, you know, I wasn't like trying to be very, very vegetable-y or very protein-y or any one style of eating. I was just trying to be generally balanced. Do almost all of my own cooking because that's pretty much what I always do. And I just wanted to see how much money I spent if I wasn't putting myself on a budget. And yeah, it turns out I only spent $43.49 on myself this week. So I put myself and my boyfriend on a $400 a month food budget. So in theory, that means I spend $200 on myself, $200 on him. That it doesn't necessarily work out that way because, well, two things, and these two things kind of cancel each other out. The first thing is he doesn't eat as much food as I do. He's a very sickly person, has a lot of chronic illnesses. Sometimes he'll go, you know, a few days in a row without really eating much of anything. And his default tends to be like just one big meal a day. And by big meal, I mean like maybe 1,000 calories, and then like snacking on like crackers. He drinks a lot of soda and fruit juice. That's where he gets like the rest of his calories, unfortunately, empty calories. But yeah, generally speaking, he doesn't eat as much real food as I do. So in that regard, maybe I spend less on him. But in another regard, he eats fast food sometimes. He'll eat it like 2 times a month, maybe. And if he's out by himself and he gets himself fast food, he pays for it with his money. But if we're out and he's starving and he needs something, or he's really craving a fast food burger, I wind up paying for it. And as you know, maybe you don't know, but you should know, fast food is actually really expensive. A lot of people think it's a good deal, but it is not. You can cook the same thing for yourself at home for half the price or less. Anyway, yeah, by this $43.49, basically $43.50. If I spent that amount consistently on myself every single week, I would actually be under $200 per month. So I'm actually under budget, technically, this week without even trying. So that's interesting. So I'm going to go through now and show every single meal that I ate in the entire week. Every single meal that I show you guys, I will give you the ingredients list as well as the price for all of the individual ingredients and the price for the full meal and the price for the entire day. Yes, I am that thorough. And just a note for my pedantic commentators, yes, these prices will vary. It depends on what was on sale when you went to the store. It depends on where you live. It depends on if you buy things in bulk or not. It depends on what brand you buy. I did the best that I could to calculate these prices. I used an actual receipt from going to the grocery store at the beginning of the week, and a lot of the food that I ate was on this receipt, but a lot of the ingredients were from my pantry and freezer from, you know, I bought a long time ago. Some of the food items I ate were free. And then one food item I had to just completely approximate. I made a chili like 3 or 4 months ago, and I don't remember the exact amounts of all the ingredients that I put in, and I don't remember the prices of all the ingredients that I put in. So what I did for that is I just took a can of chili, looked up the price on that, and then just pretended that it was canned chili that I was eating, because it's probably about the same price. Canned chili tends to be a pretty good value. I didn't bother making footage of this because I do it every single morning. First thing, I have a cup of tea and I buy my tea bags bulk, so they're not that expensive, only 4 cents per tea bag. And I have it just with some canned milk, unsweetened. So that's that every single day. On day 1 for breakfast, I did a Japanese breakfast for a lot of my breakfasts. So I make a miso soup out of paste and scallion and wakame. This is some free cheese that my comedy sports teacher gave me, and some blueberries, and the whole Japanese-ish style breakfast with some rice and various things. As you can see, that totaled only $1.46. And then I had, for my tea break, David's tea is really expensive but really delicious. I've got some links in the video description for it. And then for lunch on day 1, homemade pretzel buns with sausages and fixins, condiments. Not the healthiest thing I could eat, but pretty cheap. Look at that, just under $1. So the recipe for the pretzel buns, you can find it on Food Network. I also have a link to that in the video description. You'll see the breakdown of the prices of all of the ingredient amounts in this recipe, and it works out to about 35 cents per bun. As you can see, that is quite cheap. Bread is really cheap, especially if you make it. And then for a snack, I had some Houjicha, which is a roasted green tea, and some cherries. And cherries are very expensive, see, like that amount, plus maybe a little bit more. Day 1 dinner, I made homemade corn tortillas, homemade jicama cabbage slaw, and some fried fish for fish tacos. I will have a video for this up soon. They're delicious, sriracha mayo. And as you can see, with some homemade pineapple soda made with my soda stream and some syrup, a total of $2.37. So I will break down everything a lot more clearly recipe-wise in the taco video, but here's just a rough breakdown of all of the ingredients for the fish and the corn tortillas and for the slaw. And as you can see from all of the individual numbers, the entire recipe is rather expensive, I guess, but it makes like between 7 and 10 servings total, depending on how many tacos is a serving. We found about 2 tacos was actually a pretty good serving for these fish tacos because they're so heavy. And day 1 total, $5.28 for Japanese breakfast, sausages with fixins, and fish tacos. Day 2, I had pretty much a repeat of day 1's breakfast, minus the free cheese and minus the blueberries. I had those later. And as you can see, I hard-boiled the eggs instead of fried them. So 84 cents for that breakfast. And then I had my blueberries at tea time with another cup of David's tea. This was free because it was like a free sample tea that I got from being a loyal customer. And then I had chili, and this is a chili that I made a long time ago and froze the leftovers, so I don't actually know how much it cost. So in the price breakdown, I basically just used data from canned chili you'd buy at the store, and it's just under $3 total for this lunch. The avocado is the most expensive part. Day 2 snack, some roasted green tea. And then a rhubarb pie. We got some free rhubarb from my boyfriend's friend's mom. So this pie was quite cheap, only $1.64 to make, and most of that expense was the butter, honestly. And it's delicious, not that good for you, but good. And I had it with some tea for dinner. And here's the tea, nice decaf black tea with some canned milk. And my total for day 2 was just under $6. So pretty close to day 1, actually. Day 3, for breakfast, I had some of that rhubarb pie with some expensive David's tea, cardamom French toast. It's really good. It's kind of like a chai tea. With cream and sugar, of course, because always. And then fish tacos for lunch. I had 3 this time, and that was like really, really filling. So just under $3. And unfortunately, this tea that I made and put in a Coke bottle it had gone bad, so I didn't drink it. And then afternoon teas, I had some Houjicha and Genmaicha. They're very cheap teas. I buy them loose leaf, so only 4 cents a cup. And then for day 3 dinner, I basically had my Japanese breakfast with some alterations. I had a little bit of some fried frank in there, you'll see. That little curly thing in the corner, that's fried ballpark frank, basically. Kind of like they do cocktail wieners for breakfast. Fried eggs, and that's jicama there, that little vegetable. And that's my cat, Collar, in the background. and miso soup. And my total for dinner was $1.61. So day 3 total, again, pretty similar to days 1 and 2, just $5.60 and my cat's collar jingling in the background. Okay, for day 4, I had one of my favorite current obsessions, Choco Coco David's tea. It's like a chocolate coconut tea, and I brew it in milk, and I spike it with a little cream so it's nicer. And oh my God, it's actually kind of expensive, $1.73. Still much cheaper than what you get at Starbucks, but kind of expensive for me, but delicious. And then these free pretzels from, I was on a flight recently and I kept the pretzels, and I had some Ahmed green tea with it, links in the description. And then for lunch, once again, a repeat of that chili that was frozen, left over, and that very expensive avocado for $2 for a total just under $3 for my lunch. And then I had free tea from a friend. It was a gift, and some cream in it for 5 cents. And watermelon. Fruit's expensive, you guys. That was a quarter of a watermelon for $1.25. I love watermelon though. And then for dinner, this was special. I did a indoor barbecued pork shoulder roast. I learned this technique from Binging with Babish. There's a link to it in the video description below. He did it with ribs, but I developed the recipe for roast pork shoulder, and listen to that sizzle. Oh, it's just beautiful. It takes a long time, and you smoke it on a wok on the stovetop actually, so if you live in an apartment like me, it works for you. Made a homemade barbecue sauce, apple barbecue sauce, and I had it with some of that slaw that I made earlier for the fish tacos and some cob corn. This is definitely one of my more expensive meals, as you'll see from the components, but very delicious and also very hearty, clocking in at just under $3. I mean, it's technically cheaper than that chili, I guess, because it doesn't have avocado. Just don't eat avocados if you want to save money. Day 4 total, we've got an expensive day, $9.16. I had some pretty expensive things that day, but it was yummy. Day 5 breakfast, I had a very clean looking slice of rhubarb pie with some tea for only 36 cents. And 3 fish tacos again for a very filling lunch on day 5 for just over $3. And then tea time, 4 cents for genmaicha. And then this is a very common summer thing that I make. It is just sauteed potatoes and sweet peppers, and I'm using bacon grease, which I'm calling free because a lot of people throw that stuff away, but I keep it and cook with it. And a total of $1.17. Now that's a nice, cheap, yet delicious meal for the summer. And some expensive watermelon for a snack for 62 cents, making day 5 total back where we were at the beginning at $5.53. Coming in on day 6, once again, that Japanese style breakfast with jicama and sausage and broccoli stumps and eggs for $1.53. And some tea. Golabi tea is this loose leaf Indian tea that I like. I've got a link in the video description. And more David's tea, passion fruit green tea, delicious but expensive at 45 cents. This is homemade rhubarb syrup. I mentioned I got a bunch of free rhubarb. Yep, spill it down the edge of the glass. That's the best way to go. Anyway, I made a syrup by boiling it with some sugar, and sugar is quite cheap. And I boiled it down, made a syrup, and if you add it to carbonated water, and I use my soda stream, and there is a link to that also, an affiliate link in the video description, because this saves me a lot of money. Seriously, it's only 8 cents per 8 ounces of fizzy water, and if you buy that at the store, it's a lot more expensive, and you make a lot of cans or plastic bottles out of it, but mix it with your own syrups, homemade or store-bought, and it makes delicious cheap soda. And I had that with some leftover barbecued pork and coleslaw and corn for my dinner on day 6 for a total of $2.73 for dinner, kind of on the expensive side. And then, oh wait, that was lunch, sorry. Day 6 dinner was actually movie popcorn. We got a discount. So the big tub was like $3, and I sneaked in a bottle of water from home. I didn't have soda, so it was only $1.50 for my portion of the popcorn. Healthy too, and some watermelon. So my day 6 total was also a little on the pricey side at $7.12. A lot of that was the popcorn and that barbecue. Day 7, breakfast. I just finished off the rest of the rhubarb pie. There wasn't much of it left with some tea. for 23 cents, but not very filling breakfast. So I supplemented with very expensive but delicious David's tea, that Choco Cocoa stuff that I had on day 4. I love it so much. And then I wanted to do something different with this barbecued pork. So I took the leftovers. I often do this with leftover barbecued pork, and I made a fried rice. And you'll see crammed on the screen right there the breakdown of the prices of all the ingredients that I put in there. Basically, a lot of vegetables, whatever you have in your fridge, and leftover meat is a great addition. Egg is always a really good addition. And some oil and some leftover rice. Frozen peas almost always find their way in there, as well as some soy sauce and Chinese 5-spice if I've got it. I don't think I used it this time. I think I just used soy sauce. And yeah, it's just a great way to use up a bunch of vegetables and old meat, and sesame oil at the end just for that extra dash of loveliness. And I had some free tea from a friend. This is a jasmine green tea. It's really high quality. You only want to brew that for like 1 minute. And this lunch was only $1.54, so fried rice is quite economical. And some more watermelon. And additionally, this is the stuff I forgot to record earlier, but a mango and some milk. And so day 7's total was just over $6, so slightly more expensive. So that was that random week. I mean, I guess I could call it a typical week, but the week after that, like, I also realized as I was like keeping track of and writing down everything that I was eating, God, I'm not eating very healthy that week. And unfortunately, that kind of thing happens when you like receive a bunch of free rhubarb, and it's like, well, what am I going to do with this other than make a rhubarb pie, which isn't the healthiest thing to eat. Really tasty though. And then my boyfriend was really craving fish tacos, and he was begging for them for like 3 weeks. And fish tacos aren't exactly the healthiest thing to make, but what you gonna do? Anyway, I'm going to continue to be doing more money-based food challenges like this in the future. So if you like this kind of content, go ahead and subscribe or stalk me in the algorithm. Also look out for my fish taco video that'll be coming out in a week or 2 whenever I get around to making it. Those are really good fish tacos. And you can also follow me on Facebook at Sarah K Loves Food. I post almost every day like pictures of what I eat. I want to start posting actual written recipes, but I'm considering getting a blog for that instead. Go eat some yummy food. Thanks for watching. Since this channel is small and not monetized, you can best support it by subscribing and by liking, commenting, and sharing the videos. You can also buy food and cooking items from my Amazon store to give me a cut of the profits at no extra cost to you. Also, add me on Facebook for recipes and more. Bye, food lovers!